I always said to myself, my dream is to become one of the best players in the world.
Mitt navn Erling Haaland.
Haaland.
So brace yourself for this. Imagine a footballer built like a Viking warrior, with the speed of a sprinter, the power of a bull, and the hunger of a lion. A player who doesn't just score goals, he devours them. This is the story of Erling Haaland, the boy from Norway who shook the world of football. But how did he go from a quiet town in Norway to becoming a goal machine feared by defenders worldwide? Let's take a deep dive into the incredible journey of Erling Haaland. Erling Braut Haaland was born on July 21st, 2000 in Leeds, England. Yes, England. His father, Alf Inge Haaland, was a tough-as-nails midfielder who played for Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and Manchester City. Alf Inge Haaland's playing career came to a premature and painful end due to a brutal knee injury, one that many believe was worsened by an infamous challenge from Manchester United's Roy Keane. In a heated Manchester derby in 2001, Keane delivered a vicious studs-up tackle on Haaland's right knee, a challenge many saw as revenge for an earlier incident between the two players years prior. Although Haaland initially played on, his knee problems escalated rapidly, leading to multiple surgeries and persistent pain. Despite attempts to return, he never fully recovered and was forced to retire in 2003 at just 30 years old, bringing a once promising career to an abrupt and tragic halt. His mother, Marita Braut, was a former heptathlon champion. So yeah, Erling had the genes of an athlete and a fighter. At the age of 3, his family moved back to Norway, settling in Brine. And guess what? Little Erling wasn't just into football. He was also an absolute beast at handball and athletics. But of course, the ball at his feet always felt like destiny. By the time he was 5, Haaland was already training at Brine FK's academy, and trust me, the kid was different. Coaches say he had an obsession with scoring goals. By 15, he was already playing for the senior team. But let's be honest, his numbers weren't that crazy at Brine. He played 16 games and didn't score. Yep, 0 goals. But hold on, the monster was just waking up. Hometown. Before the world knew his name, before the iconic celebrations and record-breaking goals, Erling Haaland was just a 5-year-old boy kicking a ball in the academy of his club, Brine FK. From the moment he stepped onto the pitch, something was different. His energy was relentless, his hunger unmatched. Coaches saw a boy who wasn't just playing for fun, he was playing with purpose. By the age of 15, Haaland had outgrown the youth ranks and was already terrorizing defenders for Brine 2, the club's reserve team. In 14 matches, he found the back of the net 18 times, numbers that hinted at the monster he was about to become. But the journey wasn't always smooth. Haaland's senior debut came on May 12, 2016, in Norway's second tier against Ranheim. At first, he was deployed as a winger, a role that limited his natural instincts. The goals didn't come, but his presence was undeniable. Then, Berntsen, the interim manager who had worked with him in the youth system, made a decision that changed everything. He moved Haaland to his preferred central striker role. Even though he didn't score in his breakthrough season at Brine, scouts across Europe were already watching. German side Hoffenheim even invited him for a trial, but fate had other plans. Then came the moment that set his career on a different path. With his explosive potential clear for all to see, Molde FK, managed by none other than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, swooped in and secured his signature. Little did the football world know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would redefine modern-day strikers. The boy from Brine was about to explode onto the scene, and there would be no stopping him. By February 2017, Erling Haaland had outgrown Brine, and Molde FK wasted no time in signing the 16-year-old prodigy. Under the guidance of club legend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Haaland was about to enter a new chapter of his career, one that would turn whispers of potential into roars of brilliance. Haaland wasted no time making his presence felt. On April 26th, in a Norwegian Cup match against Volda TI, he announced himself with a debut goal in a 3-2 victory, a taste of what was to come. His league debut followed on June 4th, where he entered as a late substitute against Sarpsborg 08, and in true Haaland fashion, he made an immediate impact. Though this time, it was a yellow card rather than a goal. But it wasn't long before he got what he was truly after. On August 6, 2017, Haaland netted his first elite Syrian goal, securing a 1-0 win over Tromsø L in the 77th minute. Another crucial goal followed against Viking FK in a 3-2 thriller, but his celebrations caused controversy as he taunted opposition fans. Even at 17, Haaland was making headlines for all the right and sometimes wrong reasons. He ended his first season with 4 goals in 20 appearances, but something bigger was brewing. Then came the night that changed everything. July 1st, 2018, Molde faced Brann, the unbeaten league leaders. In just 21 minutes, Haaland scored 4 goals. Yes, 4. The entire stadium watched in disbelief as the teenager tore apart a side that hadn't lost all season. Solskjaer, stunned by the performance, compared him to Romelu Lukaku, and soon, the bids came pouring in from clubs all over Europe. Haaland wasn't finished though. A week later, he bagged a brace against Vålerenga. On July 26th, he scored his first goal in UEFA competition, converting a penalty in a Europa League qualifier. An ankle injury sidelined him for the final 3 league games, but his impact was undeniable. With 16 goals in 30 matches, Haaland was named the elite Syrian breakthrough of the year. The boy was no longer just a prospect. He was a rising star, and the world was starting to take notice. The world took notice. Europe was watching. Haaland's next move? Austria, Red Bull Salzburg. And this is where the Ma. By 2019, the whispers of Haaland's talent had turned into a roar. Austrian giants Red Bull Salzburg secured his signature, fending off interest from his father's former club, Leeds United. At just 18 years old, Haaland was stepping onto a bigger stage, and it didn't take long for him to announce himself in devastating fashion. Haaland wasted no time in Austria. His first taste of goal-scoring success came on May 12, 2019, in a 2-1 league victory over Lask. But this was just the warm-up. The real show began on July 19th, when he bagged a hat-trick in a 7-1 demolition of SCESV Parndorf in the Austrian Cup. A few weeks later, he torched Wolfsberger AC with another treble, proving that his scoring ability was no fluke. By September 14th, he had already netted his 3rd hat-trick of the season in a 7-2 thrashing of Hartberg. 6 consecutive league games, 11 goals. This wasn't just a breakout season. This was a goal-scoring hurricane. Then came the moment the world took notice. On September 17th, Haaland made his UEFA Champions League debut against Genk. Within 45 minutes, he had done the unthinkable, scoring a first-half hat-trick on his debut, an achievement never seen before in the competition. The goals didn't stop there. He struck at Anfield against Liverpool, slotted 2 past Napoli, and converted a penalty in the return fixture, becoming the first teenager in history to score in his first 4 Champions League games. With every goal, he shattered another record, joining the ranks of legends like Cristiano Ronaldo and Robert Lewandowski. By the time he left Salzburg in December 2019, he had scored 29 goals, 28 of them coming in just 22 appearances in the 2019-20 season. Haaland wasn't just a rising star anymore. He was a force that European football could no longer ignore. When Erling Haaland arrived at Borussia Dortmund, the football world knew they were getting a special talent, but few expected the level of destruction he was about to unleash. His Bundesliga debut on 19 September 2020 was nothing short of breathtaking. 2 goals in a 3-0 victory over Borussia Mönchengladbach set the tone for what was to come. In classic Haaland fashion, he showed no mercy against Bayern Munich, scoring in both the DFL Super Cup and their Bundesliga clash, though Dortmund fell short on both occasions, but Haaland was just getting warmed up.
His most jaw-dropping performance of the season came on 21st November 2020, when he single-handedly dismantled Hertha BSC, scoring 4 goals in just 32 minutes. His devastating pace, lethal finishing, and unrelenting hunger for goals saw him crowned Bundesliga Player of the Month for a second time. But Haaland was more than just a domestic phenomenon. He was rewriting history in the Champions League. A brace against Club Brugge on 24th of November made him the fastest player ever to reach 15 Champions League goals, doing so in just 12 games. Records were falling at his feet, but an untimely hamstring injury in December temporarily put his dominance on pause. Olan roared back. In Turan, the Western goal. Why the new year, proving he hadn't missed a step. He netted twice in a crucial 3-1 away win against RB Leipzig on 9th January and continued his red-hot streak against Mönchengladbach later that month. His Champions League performances were nothing short of legendary. 2 goals against Sevilla in the round of 16 made him both the fastest and youngest player to reach 20 goals in the competition. The records continued tumbling as he became the first player to score multiple times in 4 consecutive Champions League appearances. His crowning moment in a Dortmund shirt came in the 2021 DFB Pokal final, where he bagged a brace in a 4-1 triumph over Leipzig, securing his first trophy with the club. Haaland ended the season with an astounding 41 goals across all competitions, claiming the Bundesliga Player of the Season award and finishing as the Champions League's top scorer with 10 goals. Dortmund had nurtured a beast, and the world was now watching in awe. In January 2020, Haaland joined Borussia Dortmund, and his debut was Wood's script. He came on as a sub and scored a hat-trick in 23 minutes. The Bundesliga had just met its worst nightmare. Haaland kicked off the 2021-22 season in typical ruthless fashion, netting a hat-trick in the DFB Pokal opener against Wehen Wiesbaden before terrorizing Eintracht Frankfurt with 2 goals and 2 assists in a 5-2 league win. His explosive form made him unstoppable, but injuries soon struck. A hamstring issue kept him out for weeks, only for him to return and immediately score a brace against Mainz. Just as he regained momentum, another setback followed. A hip flexor injury sidelined him for 2 months, but Haaland, as always, came back stronger. On 27th November, he smashed yet another record, becoming the youngest player to score 50 Bundesliga goals in the fewest appearances, marking his return with a strike against Wolfsburg. Despite his brilliance, it became clear that Haaland's time in Dortmund was coming to an end. With Europe's elite clubs circling, his next move was inevitable. On 10th May 2022, Borussia Dortmund confirmed his departure, with Manchester City securing his signature. In his final game at Signal Iduna Park, Haaland delivered a farewell performance fitting of his legacy, scoring Dortmund's first goal in a 2-1 victory over Hertha Berlin. As he waved goodbye to the yellow wall, he left behind not just a trail of records, but memories of a striker who was simply built different. He finished his Dortmund career with 86 goals in 89 games. Absolutely unreal. Murnau. In 2022, the inevitable happened. Haaland joined Manchester City for 60 million euros. And what did he do? Broke the Premier League single-season goal record with 36 goals. Champions League winner, treble winner. Enough said. Haaland kicked off the 2024-25 season with his usual flair, marking his 100th appearance for Manchester City by coolly slotting home the club's first league goal in a 2-0 win over Chelsea. But that was just the warm-up. A week later, he tormented newly promoted Ipswich Town, bagging a hat-trick in a 4-1 victory, his 7th in the Premier League. Then came West Ham, where Haaland once again put on a masterclass. Another hat-trick, another win, and yet another record. This time, he tied Harry Kane for the most Premier League hat-tricks among active players, while also helping City overtake Liverpool for the most hat-tricks in Premier League history. Oh, and by the way, he shattered Edin Dzeko's record for the most goals in the first 3 games of a league season. Just another day at the office. On 14th September, Haaland defied the weight of personal loss, deciding to play just a day after the passing of a close family friend. What did he do? Scored twice in a 2-1 victory over Brentford, breaking Wayne Rooney's record for the most goals in the first 4 games of a Premier League season. Then, a week later, he matched none other than Cristiano Ronaldo, reaching 100 goals for a single club in Europe's top 5 leagues in just 105 appearances. His strike against Arsenal in a 2-2 draw cemented his place in elite company, proving once again that records exist solely for him to rewrite. As if breaking records wasn't enough, Haaland's influence at City grew even stronger. On 17th January 2025, he committed his long-term future to the club, signing a contract extension until 2034, the longest in Premier League history. Last week reportedly coming his way, City ensured their Nordic powerhouse wouldn't be leaving anytime. But that wasn't all. With club captain Kyle Walker moving out on loan, Pep Guardiola armband. His first game as captain, a commanding 4-0 win over Newcastle United on the 15th of February. From goal machine to leader, Erling Haaland was now the face of Manchester City. Future. Before he became a global phenomenon, Erling Haaland was already leaving his mark on the international stage. In 2018, as a teenage prodigy, he carried Norway's U19 team to glory, scoring a stunning hat-trick against Scotland to secure their place in the UEFA European U19 Championship. But the world truly took notice in 2019 when he produced a jaw-dropping, record-breaking performance at the FIFA U20 World Cup, netting 9 goals in a single match against Honduras. It wasn't just a victory, it was an obliteration. Norway crashed out early, but Haaland still walked away with the golden boot, proving that he didn't need an entire tournament to dominate. Just one game. By the time he made his senior debut in 2019, it was clear that Norway had found its next great superstar. His first international goal came against Austria in 2020, and from that moment on, he became a relentless force for his country. Hat tricks, braces, and record-breaking feats followed in quick succession. In the 2022-23 UEFA Nations League, he finished as the competition's top scorer, and by 2024, he had surpassed every Norwegian legend before him. With a brace against Slovenia, Haaland etched his name in history, becoming Norway's all-time top scorer at just 24 years old, shattering a record that had stood since 1937. And if there's one thing we've learned about Haaland, it's that he's never satisfied. So, what's next for Norway's goal machine? With the nation climbing the ranks in European football, the world watches in anticipation. Can he lead them to their first major tournament in decades? Can he carry Norway beyond just personal milestones and into footballing history? The Haaland story is still unfolding, and something tells us the best is yet to come. Here's the sad part. Norway didn't qualify for the 2022 FIFA World Cup, but Haaland still delivered for his country, scoring 27 goals in 29 appearances by 2025. His World Cup dream still alive. Haaland is a complete striker. Speed, power, positioning, finishing, he has it all. Fans love him not just for his goals, but for his hilarious personality and celebrations. The meditation pose, iconic. Erling Haaland isn't just a striker, he's a force of nature. A terrifying blend of power, pace, and precision, he embodies the evolution of the modern center forward. With his towering frame, he bullies defenders, holding up play like a human fortress before exploding into action. His acceleration is frightening, his movement is razor sharp, and his finishing clinical with both feet and his head. One moment he's dropping deep to orchestrate play, the next he's sprinting into space, leaving defenders grasping at thin air. Inside the box, he's a predator, making subtle, deceptive movements before striking with devastating accuracy. Whether he's smashing in goals from impossible angles or lurking silently before the final touch, Haaland is a nightmare to defend against. But he's more than just a goal machine. His intelligence on the ball allows him to create for teammates, using clever passes and bursts of pace to carve open defenses, particularly when drifting into the left inside channel. Though not a traditional playmaker, his patience and ability to time his movements elevate his team's build-up play. He credits legends like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Cristiano Ronaldo for his relentless mindset, but also draws inspiration from unorthodox idols like Michu and Jamie Vardy. And when he does what he does best, scoring, he celebrates with his signature meditation pose, a chillingly calm response to the chaos he's just created. Whether in real life or in FIFA video games, the sight of Haaland sitting cross-legged after yet another goal has become a symbol of his dominance. For defenders, stopping Haaland is an unsolvable puzzle. For fans, watching him is a spectacle. And as his legend grows, the question isn't just how many goals he will score, but whether anyone can truly stop him at all. Let's talk numbers. By 2023, Erling Haaland wasn't just making headlines, he was rewriting history. In a year where records tumbled like dominoes, he scooped up award after award, solidifying his place as one of the most dominant forces football has ever seen. Crowned then Isao, Manchester City's Player of the Season for 2022 to 2023, he also stormed into the PFA Team of the Year in back-to-back campaigns, proving that his debut Premier League season was no fluke. The PFA Players Player of the Year award soon followed as his peers recognized what fans had already known. Haaland wasn't just good, he was game-changing. Globally, his impact was just as staggering. The Gerd Müller Trophy, his Globe Soccer Best Player of the Year, no debate. From the Guardian's best footballer in the world to World Soccer's Player of the Year, he was the undisputed king of the sport in 2023. Even beyond football, he caught the attention of the wider sporting world, earning the BBC Sports Personality World Sport Star of the Year. The IFFHS crowned him the world's best player, while the prestigious Ons d'Or added another golden feather to his already glittering cap. Yet, for Haaland, these accolades are mere stepping stones. Trophies are celebrated, but his hunger remains insatiable. The world may have crowned him, but Haaland's eyes are already set on the next conquest. The only question left, just how far can he go? Fastest player to score 30 Champions League goals. Youngest player to score in 5 consecutive UCL games. Fastest player to reach 50 Premier League goals. The record's endless. Erling Haaland isn't just a footballer, he's a phenomenon. And the scary part, he's only getting started. The story of Erling Haaland is still being written, and the best is yet to come.